sitting on your chair, something a little different. I've been learning a lot about fascia. I think I've spoken to you quite a bit about connective tissue and fascia, and how being sedentary generally is pretty awful for your connective tissue. And there was a little bit of information around optimum sitting from the point of view of your connective tissue. So I thought it might be nice to share that with you. So the connective tissue, I think you probably all will be familiar with what this is, but I'll just explain. It's the stuff that holds everything together. And traditionally, I think when they were doing the early sort of dissections of the body, they kind of stripped it all away to look at the organs and to look at the more interesting parts of the body, and tended to think that the connective tissue wasn't very useful or interesting. And in fact, now we understand that it's very, very significant. And often unexplained pain is linked to problems in the connective tissue. So when you hear stories about people going off to get an X-ray and they experience a lot of pain, but there's nothing to show, then they're understanding that more and more is related to connective tissue. And connective tissue is influenced by stress, so it all sort of tightens up, and with stress and with sedentary life. So sitting, as we all, so much we have to do inevitably, because that's our modern lives, it's good to know how to sit and sort of optimum sitting. So first of all, let's just feel our sitting bones. So it's quite good to pull the flesh, if you can, away, back, out and back, so you can really feel that connection through the sitting bones. And yeah, so let's just pause for a moment and get that feeling.
Heidi, you're a bit quiet. I don't know how anyone else is feeling. My volume's on full and you're still a bit quiet.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Can anyone else hear me? I'll try and speak up a bit. Is anyone else experiencing problems? I mean, the only thing I could suggest, last time I logged out, and I lost a few people doing that. So if you wanted to log in and log out, Karen,
well, it's great just now. Maybe it's just because it's just when you're further away.
Is anyone else having problems? I can't see. Yeah.
No.
I'll come a bit closer.
It's okay. I'll sort my end if it's me. It's okay.
I just felt a bit bad last time I logged out and lost a few people.
That's absolutely fine. Yeah.
So it's tricky. I'm sorry. I know it's not ideal. Yes. So let's just come to sitting, and you can close your eyes. You can lower your gaze. And the little bit of information that I'd learned about optimum sort of sitting from the point of view of connective tissue is to not sit too far forward on your thighs. So to actually sit back a bit, so that you're really sort of connecting down through the sitting bones. And also, we naturally, as you know, have a curve in the lower back, so we don't want that to sort of, neither do we want to over exaggerate it, nor do we want to lose it completely. So just you can experiment with sort of bringing your weight forward a little bit, bringing your weight back. And we're going to do a little bit of just very simple breathing in and out through the nose. Deep in breath. So when I say deep into these lower ribs, Slow out breath. So a longer out breath. We're going to pick up the right knee. So just lift that knee and you can hug it in for a moment. And avoid naturally the weight of the knee is going to draw you forward a little bit, but try and resist that. Can you lift up a little bit? And also be really mindful of what's going on with your shoulders as you take that action. If you're finding that there's tension creeping in to the tops of the shoulders, then can you kind of just adjust so that the shoulders come down a little bit. And we're going to take this foot, we're going to rest it over the left leg. And bring our hands around the joint of the knee. So not right on the joint, around the joint. Flex the toes a little bit so that that keeps the knee nicely protected. If the foot's floppy, there's potential for kind of jarring in the knee. And we're just going to encourage this knee to move away gently. And then maybe you can lean in a little bit to this. So it's very, everyone's going to be a bit different with this. You could perhaps lean in let your arm rest onto the leg. And really keep that focused attention on the breath, those deep in breaths. Slow out breaths. And we can kind of move around a little bit. So we know that innovative movement is really good for connective tissue, not simply sort of mechanical movement. So take some range of movements, back and forward, side to side. Little circular movements. Come more down diagonally down over that knee, over towards the foot. So then coming up, we're going to just pick up that knee again, hug it in a little, and maybe a little external rotation. Again, you can sort of play around with that movement, little circles. Yeah, I've been learning a lot about the relationship between the ankle and the knee, and be mindful that obviously our foot has a huge capacity to move. We can invert it, we can flex it, we can point it, but sometimes we get into habits where we perhaps slope in with the inside of the foot, so we shorten the distance between the inside bone, ankle bone, and the foot, the sole of the foot. So it's I think they call it inversion, where we kind of go in like that, as opposed to eversion, which is where the foot moves out. So it's fine to do that. It's natural and good and appropriate at times. But if that's your tendency, just notice that, because that sometimes will contribute to knee problems and instability up the body. So we're going to bring the foot down to the floor, and we'll take the other side. So pick up the left knee. avoiding any sort of hunching up accompanying in the shoulders. We're taking the foot, we're going to bring it over the right leg and hands around the knee joint. A bit of flexion in the foot. And just leaning in a little bit to the knee. So that we're encouraging the knee to move away, but try and keep even weight into your sitting bones. And then, yeah, we can sort of explore this. Maybe some of you will perhaps enjoy coming a bit lower, leaning in more. And we can, yeah, do those sort of more innovative movements. So back and forward, side to side. It feels, I think, very nice for the lower back, those muscles at the sort of back of the waist, the quadratus lumborum, these sort of movements side to side, especially really nice for that part of the back. And then we're going to come up, we're going to pick up the knee, and we're going to just, yeah, again, sort of explore these movements. So external rotation, maybe some circles with the knee. And again, it's just interesting to notice if you have a particular tendency with your foot to slope into the big toe side of the foot. Inversion, I think it's called. We'll look at that when we're standing in a minute. So let's bring the foot down. And if you've got a belt, this is when it's helpful to get hold of it. So we're going to hold the belt in the right hand. So I'm making a little loop with the belt. I'm holding it in the right hand so that the loop is coming behind me. And then I'm going to take my left hand behind the body and I'm going to reach for the belt. So holding the loop with my left hand. It's not a very strong exercise, this, it's quite gentle, but it's just a little way of guiding the shoulders back and down gently. And you can pull a bit more firmly if you want to on the belt with your right hand. And maybe have a little look round at your left shoulder. And we all get this habit, don't we, where our shoulders roll in and we hunch up a little bit. So let's see if we can use this to just gently guide the shoulders down, back, and a sense of the shoulder blade melting in towards the spine. And you can even lean in a little bit to the arm that's around the back of the waist. Okay. Optimize the position so that you can kind of relax into the arm. So in every pose, I've discovered in every pose there's an opportunity to strain your shoulders and relax your shoulders. So trying to really optimize the potential for teaching your shoulders to retraining your shoulders. So let's just relax that arm back. We'll pause for a moment. It's quite subtle, that. We'll do something a bit stronger in a second. And we'll go to the other side. So we're taking the belt in the left hand, make that loop. So there is always the stronger version of just simply holding the arm. That is always available, but I'm aware that sometimes the gripping of the arm can make people overstrain a little bit. That's why I thought we'd just do the belt. So we're going to use the belt to just gently pull the right arm round. Have a little look at your right shoulder top. You can pull a bit more firmly if you want to. You want to feel that that shoulder is moving back and down. And can you also sense the shoulder blade melting in towards the spine? So more space between the ear and the top of the shoulder, hopefully. And you can lean back into the arm, the right arm. So sit back into your sitting bones. And then release the hands. Just pause for a moment. We'll take the belt a little bit further. So we're going to hold the belt in the right hand. We're going to lift it overhead. And really, go for it. Reach up. And then bend the arm. And let's see. Well, actually, shall we take the belt from the front of the body first? There's the option of reaching round. So we're holding the left hand reaches in front to grab the belt. In time, we want this elbow to sort of move up a little bit towards the ceiling. And maybe even explore taking it back behind you. We can also move into a little side bend. So the left elbow, we're pressing sort of down towards the floor and towards the waist. Opening up the armpit on the right side. And then we're going to come up. And we can make this a little bit stronger. Take the left hand round and reach for the belt from behind. And that's a little bit more intense. And that's quite good because you can really sort of roll that shoulder back, that left shoulder back again, as we did earlier to build that back and down. So yeah, there's always potential for, hunching up and relaxing depending on how mindful you are about it. Well done. So let's just release. We'll rest the belt on the legs and rest the back of the palms on the knees, thighs. And we can just gently press down a little bit through the back of the hand, lift up a little bit through the front body. Interesting sensations, I think, from side to side. A lot more feeling for me anyway in the right side. So we'll do the other side. So we're taking the belt in the left hand and lifting up. And bending the arm. And let's just take it from the front to begin with. The beauty of the belt is that you don't have to be holding high up. You can be quite low. Got some issues with your shoulder, you could have your hand really, more down towards the waist. And the elbow, we're just exploring this range of movement up and back if possible. And maybe a little side bend. Breathing into the left side of the waist. Even in this pose, there's potential for a little bit of core strengthening, because obviously you're destabilizing a bit by taking that side bend. So really try and maintain the evenness of pressure into the sitting bones and a little toning on the belly. Coming up, we'll take the belt. If you want something stronger, we're taking the belt from behind. Breathing. And then let's just release. So put the belt to one side. And rest your hands for a moment on the legs, and a little pause to allow the sensations to be felt. So do a little bit of sort of cat-cow from the chair. I'm just going to move my chair around. You don't need to, so that you can see me better. So we can bring our hands to grip the underside of the chair. It could be, if your hands are a bit longer, arms are a bit longer, you may want to take the hands further behind you. You can come forward a little bit onto the chair as well. And then we're going to round the back. So this is like a cat, and the focus as we do this is going to be on engaging the abdominal muscles, so chin to chest, around the back, and really see if you can contract all the way up from the pubic bone towards the sternum, abdominals. And obviously we want to hopefully sense more space between each vertebrae at the back of the body too. And then let's go the other way. So you can press down into the hands and lift the chest. So this time we're going to see if we can sense a little contraction in the back of the body. So it's easy to sense that perhaps between the shoulder blades, but can you also feel the muscles either side of the spine down towards the waist and the lower lumbar area? A little, maybe squeeze your glutes a little bit gently. You can also squeeze your inner thighs together. That might help activate. So we're going to go the other way. So come back to neutral. In fact, let's begin this with squeezing the inner thighs. So if they're not pressed together, let's just bring them together. And then squeeze your inner thighs, and then really find that sort of cat shape rounding the back, contracting from the pubic bone towards the sternum. Breathing into the back of the body. And come to neutral, relax everything. And then we'll go the other way. So again, you can press the knees, the thighs together. A little squeezing together of the glutes, not over exerting, but just firming. Let's see if we can feel those, they call them the posterior chain muscles. there'll be parts of the back where you'll feel that intensely, and other parts it's harder to activate, for me anyway. So you have to kind of think a little bit harder, or visualize, that's what I mean. And then just come to neutral, and do relax. Make sure you're relaxing the inner thigh as well. Just resting your hands on your legs. So we'll do a little bit of strengthening using the chair again, but this time the chair is going to come to the end of the mat. Can you hear me okay, Karen? Is it better? Yeah, oh good. Sorry about so frustrating sometimes. There's one person that seems to be suffering with computer glitches. So let's really firmly hold the chair before we think about doing anything else. Make sure that it's steady on the mat. And then we're going to step back into a sort of plank. So we're aiming for one long line, but you know, obviously you feel free to adapt it. And although our feet and knees aren't touching, let's get a sense of squeezing in of the legs towards each other. And then although it is a plank, we're going to see if we can bring a little bit of cat energy into this. So a little bit of rounding of the shoulders, and engagement of those abdominal muscles. So you do contraction in the front body. And then we're going to bring our bums back so you can come flat onto the feet now. Take a downward dog. And feel free to sort of bend the knees a lot, especially if your back is sore or you're vulnerable, feeling vulnerable in the lower back. Really go for it, bend the knees a lot. You can get a brilliant stretch that way. But press your sitting bones back or your tailbone back towards the wall behind you. You're pressing firmly down through your hands. You don't need to be gripping the chair, but some sense of pressing down and almost pushing away. And then we're going to just come forward again into that plank. So if you need to bend your knees a little bit for this, please do. But let's get a feeling of energy in the legs so that although the feet aren't touching, we're squeezing together. Although they don't need to actually touch. Squeezing the thighs. A little rounding in the back, like cat-like energy in the back. And some engagement of those abdominal muscles from the pubic bone up, so the lower belly. See if you can really lift your lower belly. And then we'll take one more downward dog. So remember, you can bend your knees as much as you need to. I think we'll get plenty of chance to stretch the legs, but it's really nice to use the downward dog to get the real long spine. So step forward now. So you've got both feet in front, pretty close up towards the chair. I'm going to just quickly demonstrate what we'll do. I've done it with you before, but sometimes it's nice to see where we're going. So we're taking Ardha Chandrasana. And we're going to take a lot of support from the chair. So I'm bringing my right hand onto the chair, right elbow onto the chair. So I'm just going to look at this so you can see. So I'm leaning in. So if you feel like that's not terribly comfortable, put a cushion under the right elbow. I'm taking my left arm to the top of the chair, and then I'm going to pick up my left foot. So, and the toes turn away. So it's a good way to practice this. And hold it for longer. So the beauty of this using the chair is that actually I think you work harder. It's not cheating at all. And the toe, yeah. So you really think about rotating the thigh off the top leg, the flying leg. It looks very good, by the way. Just what I was seeing of you, Karen, and Louisa, you're doing the stronger version. That's a pose, but you're doing the harder one. You can do the easier one. So I was going to do that one in a minute. So you're ahead of the game. So what you do, you're doing the rotated version. So you can. What leg are you lifting?
Right.
Right leg.
Yes.
So bring your left arm down onto the chair, and it's the other arm. That should feel a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, it's not easier, that one. But you're yeah, it is actually a pose that you're doing. It's just a slightly harder one. So yeah, probably want to come out now. Kept you there for a while. So come back, feet together, bring both hands to the chair, and then we can just step back into downward dog. Make it a loose downward dog, so you can kind of move your hips, swing your hips from left to right, bend the knees quite a bit. Press down into the chair with your hands so that the energy, there's a lot of a sense of energy in the arms and the hands. And if you can straighten your arms, that's great. So you're kind of, the hands are anchoring you and you're pulling away, and then you should feel a nice sort of stretch through the torso, through the shoulders. So you're going to step forward again. We'll do the other side. So it doesn't matter if you've done the wrong leg. It doesn't matter. Just make sure you're doing the opposite leg. So I have my right arm on the chair. Now I'm going to bring my left arm. So my opposite arm is going to hold the top of the chair. And what that will do is it will rotate your chest before we even think about lifting the foot, and then we pick up the foot. So right foot, for me it's the right foot lifted, the left arm supporting me on the seat of the chair, and trying to turn the thigh off the flying leg. The thigh will want to turn down, the toes will want to turn down, but we're going to really try and rotate the thigh and the chest. Keep breathing. Have a look at you. That's great. It's hard, isn't it? It's quite a strong pose, so you're doing really well. Come down. Let's take a little seat on the chair. Do a forward bend, so feet can go a bit wider, maybe even as wide as the mat, and bring your elbows onto the knees. And we can kind of press back into the sitting bones, just gently, not brutally, just gently. Could be quite subtle, and feel the lengthening in the lower back as you do that. You can let the sitting bones lift off, and then press back down. And then maybe if you want to sort of drop your hands down towards the floor. Let go for it. We'll take a little twist. So if you're happy to have one hand on the floor, then you can do that. If you prefer to have instead twist from the knee, so we're going to have the right hand down either on the floor or the right hand or the right elbow resting on the knee, and then we just lift the left arm. And take the hand behind the head. We can come back to that sort of stretch we were doing earlier with a bit of a variation, but try and lift the elbow, but keep your even weight into the sitting bones. And the right hand is going to help you turn, so you can press down a little bit to find that rotation. And then we'll come down. So pausing. We'll go the other way. So either the left hand on the floor or left elbow on the knee, lifting up with the right arm. Take the hand to the back of the head, so you've got a bit of support for the head. And again, you can kind of really lift up with the elbow or move back. So that's the rotation of the chest that we were trying to get in the Ardha Chandrasana. But obviously it's a very different pose that we're doing now, but we'll come back to this in a minute. So come back down, rest for a moment. If you want to come all the way to the floor, you can. So just come back to the chair, so that we're sitting in front. Standing in front of the chair, and we're going to bring our feet so that they are hip width, and the hands are solidly resting on the chair. And then we're taking the right elbow onto the chair. So if you need a cushion, because we're going to hold this for a little bit of time. And then let's take the left hand to the back of the chair. So before we even think about balancing, let's see if we can find the rotation. So we're lifting the elbow. The hips aren't going anywhere. The legs aren't going anywhere. If anything, you're going to squeeze your thighs together a little bit to maintain stability and see if you can find that rotation. A little bit of tone on the belly, so more the movement in the upper body. You can look up under your armpit if you wish. And then, only then, once you've got the rotation, then let's try for the lifting. So the lift is coming, it's the left leg. And then the challenge is to turn the toes and the thigh. It's quite a challenging way to do this pose. So don't be put off. I'm probably making work a bit harder than perhaps if we were just doing it on the floor or something. And then we're coming down. We'll do the other side. So I'm just turning away the other way so I can see you still. So remember, we're trying to keep the feet very steady. So plant your feet about hip width. We're squeezing the thighs together so that we've got that feeling of being very stable. And then left arm onto the chair, right arm comes to hold the top of the chair. Bit of tone in the belly. and the elbow we're lifting. And if your shoulders are tight at the moment, then you're not going to go very, very far. That's okay. Just see what you can do. Turning the elbow. And because we're holding our legs very firm, it will limit how far you go, because when your legs are kind of loose, you'll let your hips sway around. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It's just something different that we're trying to do at the moment, because we're trying to focus the movement to the upper back. And then when you feel ready, you can pick up the foot. So it's that. So whatever arm you've got on the chair, it's the opposite foot that you're picking up. Sorry, on the seat of the chair. Opposite foot. We're very challenging pose. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. And then, well done. Come down. And you can use your chair for a forward bend, so you can bring both your elbows onto the chair and drop your head down. If you're prone to feeling dizzy, then maybe don't go for that drop down head version. Maybe just head halfway forward bend. And then we're going to come up standing. We're going to do a little warrior. So it's Virabhadrasana 2, which is where we open our hips to the long edge of the mat. So stand so that you've got plenty of room either side. And we'll take a wide stride first. And I'm very interested in working the ankles at the moment. So let's push down through the outer ankle. So at this point, our toes are pointing forward. And also through the little toe edge of the foot. So we really feel that outer edge of the foot is very firmly engaged. And of course, we actually want to be even in our feet. But because I think for many people, the outer ankle lifts, sometimes we have to focus a bit more on that to get the evenness. So turn the right toes out now, and the left toes in. Feel for your hip bones, they point to the long edge of the mat. We're taking our arms up to shoulder height. We're going to turn the palms up and turn the biceps up. And then turn the palms down, but try and keep the bicep lifted. And just really mindful of what's going on in your shoulders. If they've lifted up, then can you drop them down? Just drop into a little bend in the front leg. This is press back into the left foot. Torso, sometimes the torso moves forward with bent knee, but we're not going to let that happen. We're going to stay upright. And anyone wanting to go stronger, so you can drop the thigh, so the thigh comes to almost parallel with the floor in time. And then we'll take a peaceful warrior. So if you're feeling like you want more of a break here, then you can straighten up the front leg and the left hand comes to the back of the thigh. And the right hand up over the ear. And then come back down with your arms so that they're shoulder height again. We'll just take the right hand and press it to the outside of the thigh, and we'll drop back into, you can rest the other hand, drop back into warrior. So the pressing into the thigh will hopefully activate your outer thigh, and then you can press back with your outer thigh into your hand. And that's going to help you keep your knees aligned and obviously just keep you strong in the leg. So not just the inner thigh, the outer thigh. And then this is, let's just see if we can lean in. So let the elbow of the right arm come onto the knee. It's very, so the full pose would be to bring the left arm in front of the body and find a line from the back foot into the raised hand. But can you really press down through the outer edge of the heel? Feel that line. Well done. Coming up. So we'll bring the arm first. You can press down into the knee. You can use your hand, turn the palm down, press down to come up. Turn the toes as you come up. I mean, once you're up, turn the toes back to centre, and we'll sort of shuffle the feet in and pause for a moment. Hands into your heart. And then let's just do the other side. So turn the feet, take the feet wide. Before we turn the toes, just really feel that outer edge of the foot. And then left toes out, right toes in a little. Take the arms up to shoulder height. Turn the biceps and the palms up. And then try and keep the lift in the upper arm, but turn the palms down. I find that instruction quite difficult, but it's interesting to try. And then we'll drop in to the bent leg on the left side. Sorry, I just need to turn my battery charger on for the laptop. So just mindful that the torso sort of floats forward sometimes here, so you have to kind of press back into the back foot. We'll take a peaceful warrior, so right hand resting on the back thigh, left hand up and over. If you want to straighten up the leg, go for it. And then let's bring the hands down and press into the outer thigh. So we get to activate that outer thigh. So that hopefully is going to, if you have a tendency to let the knee move in, that will strengthen up the leg so that the knee will stay aligned with the foot. And that thing about rotating the thigh, it will help with that as well, that instruction of rotating the thigh that often is in Ardha Chandrasana, those sort of poses. So we're going to just come down and rest on the bent knee, left arm, left leg. So I know this is hard work, so if you need to sort of not come quite so low, that's fine. And then the other arm, we're moving it in front of the body to find that line. Well done. So come up by, you can bring the hand up first and then maybe press into the knee to lift your torso, turn the toes and step the feet back together. We'll just pause for a moment, hands into your heart. And then we're coming down to sitting. So We're going to sit on our bums. And we're going to bring our hands behind us. So the knees are bent, the feet are flat on the floor, the hands are coming behind us. And it can be an opportunity to sort of really relax the shoulders and really nicely align the shoulders. So lean into the hands a little bit, and can you roll the front of the shoulder back and move the tops of the shoulder down, and even squeezing the shoulder blades in. So we're not in a cat-cow, we're not trying to do that at the moment, but it's this sort of some of the same muscles, but not the exaggerated stretch. And then we're going to pick up the right foot. So the shin is parallel with the floor. It's quite hard work. And then we're going to bring it down. I'm going to pick up the left foot. So if you find that straining your lower back, then just don't come up so high. And let's really engage that abdominals, lower abdominals here. So we can do a few of those up and down, like a little can-can dance. Any twinging in the lower back means just don't lift up quite so high, but also engage more in the abdominal area. So let's just come up and drape your body over the bent leg, so you get to straight, really relax those lower back muscles, and a little bit of sort of innovative movement. So sway from left to right. We'll finish with a little cobra, and then we'll take a really nice relaxing, side stretch. So just come to lying on your bellies. Your head can rest completely on the floor, and your hands are going to come to the lower ribs, so that the heel of the hand is around the lower ribs. And for this version of cobra, press your feet together and your thighs together. So not everyone will tell you to do that, but if you think about a snake, obviously there is just this tail. There's not. So we're going to really sort of have that sense of a tail, pressing into the front of the toes, engaging the thigh muscles, inner thighs, so you can squeeze in. You can use your pelvic floor as well. Before you even think about lifting, let's just pull the shoulders gently up from the floor and down away from the ears, so your head can stay down for this. So it's that same thing that we were doing when we were sitting on the chair, same sort of movement, but obviously we're in a different shape. So shoulders move back and down, squeeze your shoulder blades in gently, and then we're going to activate all the muscles up and down the spine, little squeezing in of the buttocks. And although we've got the hands on the floor, we're not going to use the hands for this. We're going to really think of ourselves just as a snake. You know, obviously they don't have hands. Can you get a lift? It does, maybe very minimal, just by engaging your posterior chain muscles. So those are the running up the back and the legs. So don't worry about coming up very high. We can go higher when we use our arms in a minute, but just see where you can go. It's just as a matter of curiosity, and then also just to strengthen those muscles. Think literally the cobra is it's not a creature with
hands and legs. So it's just one long tail. So you can do 2, 3 of those. It's very strong when there's such a temptation to sort of push into the hands, but let's resist that for now. And keep the nice streamlined feeling around the shoulders. And then you can completely relax. And part of the discipline of this pose, as I'm learning a lot about this at the moment, is not to, overdo it. As you build strength and get stronger, you'll come up higher naturally. But when you do come down, completely flop. So that means letting the feet relax, the inner thigh, the buttocks, the belly can come back to the floor. So you'll get the opportunity to do this again, and you can use your hands and see how different that feels. And hopefully you won't need your hands so much because you've built the strength in the back body. So just when you're ready, hands come back to the lower ribs. So squeezing the feet together, the thighs together, you can press down as well through the feet and the pubic bone. And maybe pressing into the hands a little bit or a lot. And remember the shoulders, we want to keep them just as we did when we were sitting on the chair using the belt. That nice feeling of space, not all hunched and scrunched. And then come down, and you're going to lie on your side, to rest on your side. So we're lying with some support under the head. And we're just going to take the top arm over the ear, and it's going to be a very passive stretch. So we did more active stretches earlier, so you're not stretching foot hard with the arm, it's just resting over the ear. And the arm that's underneath you is out in front, sort of, so the back of the arm presses against the floor. Breathing into the lower ribs, the side ribs. And then we're going to move from this shape into a twist. So we're just taking the arm that's over the ear, and it's going to float back behind us. You can bend your knees and bring them up in towards your chest a little bit more as you take that twisting shape. And it's, nice to sort of really relax into this. So if you feel that your hip wants to float back behind you, the top hip, then let it. It's okay to. Sometimes we want to really hold alignment, and other times, it's we don't always need to be in the very rigid alignment. Sometimes it's okay to just let that go. They all have their uses, these different types of movement. So with the twist, very often we'll try and take the arm back shoulder height, but it's sometimes not the right thing. So feel free to have the arm right back by your bum or your waist. that can feel really good as well, especially if you are finding the tops of your shoulders are prone to tension. We'll do the other side in a minute. And just when you're ready, you can roll to the other side and just make sure you're supporting your head. The arm that you're lying on is resting on the floor, roughly sort of shoulder height in front of you, and the other arm resting over the ear, which I know is actually not easy if your shoulders are very tight, so therefore bend the arm more if you need to. When sort of frozen shoulders, those kind of things don't cope very well with that shape, so that's why it's really good to make it more passive. Let the head go. Even with something under the head, sometimes we still hold the weight of the head more than we need to. So in a moment, then we will move into the twisting shape, so that's just lifting the arm up towards the ceiling. And you can, so you can either just bring it down. So traditionally you sort of have a twist more out to shoulder height. You could move into that in stages if you prefer, and have the arm down by the waist. And then back, so you're moving like the arm of a clock. Might be a better way to come into it. So again, it's more innovative movement. As opposed to the sort of ideals of precise alignment, which are useful and good to know and good to experiment with, but not always what the body needs. That looks really nice, watching you there, Jean. I learned this exercise of a woman, I'm forgetting her second name now, but her first name is Therese, and she's a French body worker from the 70s. I think she's still alive, but I think you will probably know her book, The Body Has Its Reasons. She was very much against mechanical movement. She really had a lot of concerns about how mechanized our movements are and that we don't use the full range of our movement. Berta Ratt, I think her second name was. The Body Has Its Reasons. that thing about enjoying it as well, making it a pleasurable stretch, because when we see animals stretch, they do, and that is part of the value of the stretch. Not to be underestimated, the pleasure of it. And it's also in the Yoga Sutras what we talk about contentment as being part of the practice. So when you're ready, you can roll onto your backs. So we're going to take a Shavasana. But if you're enjoying this, feel free to stay longer. And for your Shavasana, obviously, you need to, again, it's this idea of, setting it up for your body. So if you prefer to have your legs raised, do that. Even it's possible to do your Shavasana lying on your side, which perhaps I should talk to you more about. So you could lie on your left side. Apparently they discourage lying on the right side. And Shavasana at the left side. Maybe an eye cushion. A dab of essential oil. So, we're going to move through the body as though we're moving through sort of a fairly spacious suite of rooms, turning off all the lights and the power sockets, all those battery chargers and digital radio clock, alarm clocks and things like that we leave on. So starting, be quite methodical about it. You can move down from the crown of the head, completely relaxing, committing each body part to rest, to relax. Moving down across the forehead, the brow, the eyes, the eyeballs, all those delicate tissues around the eyes. The cheeks. The jaw, the tongue. And the back and the sides of the head too, all around the ears, sort of muscles on the back of the ear that get very tight, the back of the head, the occiput, the top of the neck. Those hard-working muscles down the sides of the neck and the throat. Allowing them to be soft and completely at rest. And the tops of the shoulders. of the shoulders and the shoulder blades, medial edge, the inside edge, those muscles, either side of the spine as well. The back of the heart, front of the heart, diaphragm, belly, waist, back of the waist, sides of the waist, hips, buttocks, pelvic floor, front of the thighs and back of the thighs, inner outer thigh, kneecaps, backs of the knees, the shin, calves, ankles, inner ankle, the delicate soft tissue, and the tender cavities, and the inside ankle, and the outer ankle, the front of the foot, the soles of the feet, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth and fifth toes, space between the toes, the arms, biceps, triceps, soft delicate tissue of the inner arm and the stronger outer arm, elbows, wrists, back of the hands, palms, thumbs, finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, letting the whole body to rest. No part forgotten. Nothing to prove, nothing to do here. When you're ready, if you're ready, you can begin to bring some small movements back into the body. Rolling onto your side. Coming up, sitting. Just when you come up, there's no rush. But when you come up, just taking a comfortable seat. And we'll take wisdom ruler, thumb, forefinger, pressed lightly together. And just every pose is an opportunity to relax, and certainly with the focus that we've had on the shoulders, that's particularly focused now on the shoulders. Every pose is an opportunity to add strain and tension or to relax, depending on where your mind is. So let's just sort of drop those shoulders and gently move them back. It's not in a very sort of, quite subtle. And just sitting for a few minutes longer. I wanted to finish with a few oms. I haven't done. I find it a little bit hard to do oms on online, but we can still do them. So let's take the forefinger and the thumb. We're pressing them together. We're going to interlace the other fingers. So this is Yoni Mudra. We're going to bring these hands to around the pelvic floor, so the base chakra, and they say it's connecting to source. So, and obviously it's also bringing your attention low down the body, which is. And then we're going to do 3 oms, and hopefully you've got a sense of the sounds that are moving up the body. So just when you're ready, and they can be quite controlled and not loud, or you can really go for it and make a lot of noise if you wish. So 3 oms when you're ready. Om. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a lovely day. It's glorious sunshine. Yeah, so yeah, hope you get to enjoy it. Go and have an ice cream. Work on your tans.
Thank you, Heidi. That was lovely. Thank you.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you. I might not be here the next 2 Tuesdays. I might just have 2 weeks, so just to let you know.
Yeah, thanks for letting me know. Are you going anywhere nice?
Well, no, I think I've got my granddaughter coming, so I'll be doing some fun things with her, hopefully. So, yeah.
I'll have a lovely time.
Okay.
Yeah, take care, everyone.
I'll be missing 2 weeks as well, Heidi. I think I don't know if you got my email, but yeah, I'm on a course next week and then away the week after. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll do the recording. So have you checked out? I've been putting them on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen. So they're there. I should mark them more clearly actually, so that you can tell that it's the Tuesday class.
Would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Take care, everyone.
Bye bye. Have a lovely day.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye, Louisa.
Bye. Thank you.